Hi, you're in the kitchen with Kim Lesso, and today it's all about chicken. I have a big pack of chicken here, and you're sitting here as a 24-year-old recent college graduate who lives alone going, I'm not gonna buy a package of chicken like this. Oh, yes, you are. Come along with me and I'll show you why. We're gonna start with this big pack of chicken. It's boneless, skinless chicken thighs. There are lots of them, and we're going to do them several different ways and show you how to save time and money. You're going to bake some of these in the oven in a baking dish with a little light Caesar dressing on top. You're going to have those to make chicken salads, chicken salad sandwiches, or to scoop with. And I'm going to show you how to make chicken salad. You're going to have pieces of chicken that are just ready to be reheated and thrown in with some vegetables and rice for a stir fry, or for a Tex-Mex, or for Chinese. We're also going to do some delicious batter fried chicken that's delicious tasting, but half the calories of if it had bone and skin. It's also only about $9 to buy this, and it'll feed you for a week of very different meals. That's what a person who's young and starting out needs to know. How can I do this quick and easy and have it done for the week so that I don't have to spend 2 hours in the kitchen cooking? I don't blame you. I don't want to either. So we're going to fix this. Now listen, gluten-free friends. I got started early and I made you this beautiful gluten-free chicken. Yeah, it looks like it's fried. It's been coated in mayonnaise, and it's been breaded in gluten-free pretzels. Now, because of that, you don't add any salt, but I did add garlic powder, I added fresh cracked black pepper, and I added a little paprika just to give it that extra deep, rich flavor. Kate is having this for her dinner tonight. She can't wait to get started. But let's come over here and do fried chicken. You need your skillet, and I've got it sprayed with pan cooking spray. I've got a heaping cup of white flour. I've got 2 eggs. I've got vegetable oil, my Wegmans brand, shameless shout out. We've got fresh cracked black pepper. This is like $1.99 in the stores. McCormick garlic powder. You don't have to get McCormick, but you do need garlic powder, not garlic salt. Paprika. Spice Classics at Walmart or buying at walmart.com. Go to my Shopping 101 video to talk about this. 99 cents for these spices, and they're big and they're great, and you can do a lot with them. The absolute must-have for your kitchen, Lowry seasoned salt. Gotta have it. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna crack these eggs. Now, the chicken came in a bag, okay? There are all kinds of kitchen hints here. Don't throw the bag away. Put it in your sink right where you're working, because you're going to crack your eggs. Never crack your eggs on the side of your bowl, kids. If the shells go off, they're going in there. Crack them next to you. You can wipe your counter when you're done, and I hope that you will. Now, you take your fork. I'm left-handed, so do whatever works for you. Poke your egg yolks first, and then get in there and whisk them. Let's get them all whisked up really well. Then we're going to add just a quick splash of water. It doesn't do anything as far as really diluting it, but it spreads it a little bit. And this stuff sticks to the chicken really well, so you don't need a lot. Now, I've been out here cooking for a couple of hours. My hands are really, really clean. You can see this extra fat. For whatever reason, this chicken happens to have some fat sitting on it. It's not acceptable in my world, so I'm just pulling it off. You want a little bit for flavor, but you don't want all of it. So let's just get it off of there. Here's how we start. Well, we've got to season our flour. We're going to get our pepper. And I use white, black, and red because it really gives it a nice zip. Always wipe down your spices when you're done because your hands have been in food. You don't want to just be putting botulism all over everywhere. So always make sure that before you put these back in your shelf, you wipe them down with a wet, damp towel. You're going to put your paprika in. just a couple of shakes, okay? I'm not a measuring kind of a person. Some shakes of garlic. This is going to be what you like, not what I like. If I tell you put a half a teaspoon of garlic in, but you're not a garlic fan, you're going to hate this chicken. If you don't like garlic, don't put it in. If you like a little garlic, but you don't want it knocking yourself over the head, just put a little shake in, okay? This is the magic weapon, okay? Lowry seasoned salt is not only salt, but it's a perfect blend of spices. I put 1/4 to a half a teaspoon of this in everything that I'm cooking because it just makes it really well seasoned. Now look, we talked about it's your first apartment. You don't have a lot of utensils. I put this on a dinner plate. Hello, these are my hands. That's what you have hands for, folks. Get right in there and mix this up carefully but well. Okay? You'll know that it's mixed well because the white flour isn't white anymore. All right? Dust your hands off. Let's start dipping chicken. We're going to start with flour. Okay? Now, while we're dipping this, we're going to get our oil going. Let's talk about your stove for a minute. If you have an electric stove, you have to be really, really careful about what you're doing when you're cooking because electric heating elements stay hot for at least 5 minutes at the temperature that you have them. So if you turn something off from an electric stove, get it off that element because it's going to burn. If you're using gas, when you turn it off, it's pretty much off. And your rack around will be hot, but it's not going to burn your food. I start this on a medium-high heat, and then after a couple of minutes, I'm going to drop it down to medium. Now, while this is coming up to temperature, I'm going to get my chicken ready. Yes, I'm going to get my hands filthy. That's okay. Hands wash. You get this dredged in your egg wash. Bring it back to your flour. Now, when I was doing the gluten-free version of this, instead of the egg wash and the flour, I just smeared mayonnaise all over this. A lot of people will tell you, you got to let this rest or it won't stay on. I don't know. I'm not a cooking guru. I just make food and I make it in a hurry and it tastes great and people kill to come over here and eat. I'm just going to put it in my oil and we're going to let it go. It's not greasy, so I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to get our next piece. Same thing. Just dredge that in the flour real nice. Get it over here in the egg wash so it gets coated all the way around. Oh, you hear my chicken starting to sizzle already over here. We're going to keep an eye on this heat and drop it down in a minute here because we don't want that to start burning. If your chicken is burned on the outside, it's still going to be raw in the middle. And I, most of the time, do not finish this in the oven. So, you know, word to the wise, you got to be patient and let it cook slowly. For a single person, you can do a week's worth or, you know, stuff to put in the freezer in one skillet. You know, 1 cup of the flour is going to be more than you need. Now I'm going to drop this down to medium because I can hear it's getting hot and I don't want it to burn. You're going to cook that chicken so that it's ready to go for the week. Count on at least a piece of this being your dinner tonight, okay? Because it's going to smell so good in here, you're going to want to eat some. Come over here with your egg wash again. I'm keeping my eye on my chicken over there. It's not hard to do because you hear me talking along to you as I'm doing it. It's really not that difficult, guys. You can learn to do this. Guys, gals, young people, older people, you don't need to spend $15 for takeout when I got all of this chicken for under $9, okay? And there's a lot of it here. Okay. And we're going to do one more. Tad and I are the only ones that eat that. That's my autistic 27-year-old. And we eat a piece at a meal. So that's 2 meals for us. Katie's got 2 pieces done in the gluten-free, which is what's better for her to digest. And the rest is going to get baked later on for other recipes that I'll be doing in the future. I am going to do the chicken salad once I get this fourth piece done and my hands washed up. Now, see, all four of those fit right in there perfectly. They're beautiful. They're ready to go. Now, the bag that I saved, that has my eggshells in it. It has my crumbs in it. And it's going to be what I scrape my counter into. I always clean as I go because there's nothing worse than coming into a kitchen an hour after you've eaten and having to clean it. It's just horrifying because you're not hungry anymore. You're not excited to be in that kitchen now. You've already eaten, okay? So we're going to get this cleaned up. Last thing you do in your kitchen is you sweep your floor. Because a lot of times you're just going to knock stuff off. I'm going to make noise while I wash my hands. Katie is taping the chicken for you. We're going to get this stuff dumped. Katie is my daughter. She's my middle child. My youngest is a lot of the reason why I'm doing this. He's a musical theater major in New York City at NYU Steinhardt, the #1 program in the country. And he's a good cook. And he's really smart about his money. But boy, he got derailed when he found out what the price of food in New York is to buy in a grocery store. And so we went to work, and that was how I found Walmart.com to get all of the non-perishable things. And you can get your toiletries there. There are some things that for whatever reason you can't buy on Walmart.com. One of them is toothpaste. I don't know why. But now you see me getting ready to put my spices back. I'm washing them. So if there was ever any guess, oh my gosh, she had her hands in that chicken and then she put her hands all over these spices. And she's washing her spices off. And I always keep a towel handy so that I can wipe as I go. It's all about thinking, folks. You can't have your tunes going and your phone going when you're cooking. When you're cooking, you need to cook. And you know what? It's okay. It gives you time to identify yourself as a human being. Young people today are always plugged into something. And I think that's why they feel lonely, because they're not unplugged and just being okay in their own skin. You're a great person. If nobody's told you that today, let me be the first. You're a great person. You need to be able to take care of yourself. Look at that great chicken, how it's cooking. Now I'm going to use my tongs to turn that. And you're saying, well, I don't have tongs. How am I supposed to do this? Okay, I'll do it your way. I'll get my mitt on. You see how this is getting nice and brown around the edges. I use a fork. Look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look like you get it in a restaurant? This is a cheap old chicken thigh. Okay? $8.96 for a little over 4 pounds of meat. That one's going to wait a minute because it didn't go in as long ago as the others. Okay? But look at that. It's delicious. And it's just going to taste fabulous. Now, let's come back here to chicken salad. I'm pretending to be you. You don't have my food processor. You can't grind up your chicken. So I took some of these chickens, I baked them in the oven with my light Caesar dressing, so it already has some flavor to it. I took it and diced it up, okay? I just diced it up. No big deal, just diced it. Now we're gonna make it into chicken salad. Now you can add peppers, onions, you can add whatever you want. You're gonna go easy on this because it is salt. So get your Lowry seasoned salt, maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon, I would say, at the most, for 2 chicken thighs. That's what's cut up in here, 2 chicken thighs. Shake up your Caesar dressing real good. Now see, there's dark in there. That's black pepper. So you're not going to add more to that. And there's a lot of garlic in this, so you're not going to add that. You're going to put, 1.5 tablespoons in there. Why? Because it helps to moisten it, so you're using less mayonnaise, so you're lowering your fat. And Katie, I'm going to ask you to get me another fork out. and a spoon. Never double dip in your large containers like this. If you dip this spoon in there and you touch anything in there, don't put it back in here. You're going to share bacteria. So high in the sky. I like mine pretty mushy, so I'm going to put this back in here so that I'm not tempted to ruin it with something else. I'm just going to take this with my fork and I'm going to mash it together. And I'm going to let these flavors blend. Okay? Incidentally, folks, this light Caesar dressing is gluten-free. Oh, look at that coming together. Doesn't that look tasty? Now, if I were making it for me, it would have a dash of mustard in it. It would have peppers and onions in it because that's what I like. Okay? But that is good to go. We're going to flip this last piece of chicken, which is now perfect. The chicken salad is made. I would actually suggest that you put the baked chicken in the oven first. It takes 45 minutes to an hour on 375 in your oven to bake. So another helpful hint in the kitchen. Never put glass in your oven over 375 degrees. It'll crack. It'll smash. It won't be pretty. Okay? So let's come back here. While your other chicken is baking, for you to make this kind of stuff, you can be putting this together. Well, let's taste it and see what it tastes like. Oh, you've got the zip of that Caesar dressing. You've got your Lowry seasoned salt, which is actually going to taste better tomorrow after it's sat up for a while. Maybe you just want a couple of dashes rather than a quarter teaspoon because there is salt in the Caesar dressing. Same thing with the light Italian dressing. They both have salt in them. The mayonnaise gives it that creamy texture. Like I said, feel free to add vegetables in it. You don't have to put this on a sandwich. You can put it on lettuce wraps and wrap it up if you want to go low carb. You can put it in the middle of a plate with some beautiful fruit around it and about 10 or 12 wheat thins or Triscuits. Scoop them on there. You'll feel like you really pampered yourself and you didn't do all that much, okay? It doesn't have to be hard. You just have to be purposeful about what you're doing. Now let's come over here and look at this chicken again. Yeah, see, this is ready to be turned again. And it's feeling firmer, but I don't think it's quite ready yet. You don't want your chicken undercooked, but you do want that golden brown on both sides. So don't be afraid to let it keep going. I would say it's going to take you 12 to 15 minutes to make this chicken. You don't want it undercooked. And if you think that it's browning too fast, just pop your stovetop down. Now I've got it almost to low. You don't want it completely on low because then your chicken is steaming and that's just going to be mushy and nasty. You're not going to like that. The chicken is coming along great. Are you still with me? Are you excited? I hope so. Look, this freezes beautifully. With this chicken, I'm going to make Chinese. I'm going to make chicken Parmesan. I'm going to make just a fried chicken dinner. I can do chicken with rice. I can cut these before I bread them, and I can make chicken strips. If that's what you like, so that you can dip them in your favorite dipping sauce, well, go ahead and do it that way. It's yours. It needs to look homemade. It doesn't need to look like it came out of the freezer section of the grocery store, because it's not. It's also not full of the chemicals that the stuff from the freezer section is full of. And more than likely, it's cheaper. So you're just going to do this for yourself. Now, I am going to use my tongs for a minute. I made my point. I could certainly cook with this just with the fork. This chicken is almost done. The video isn't that long, folks. You saw me start this chicken, and it's almost done. And that's the major component of your dinner. We're going to grab some fresh fruit. We're going to steam some vegetables. Dinner's done. That's it for us. So I hope that you stick with me. I hope that you come back to my kitchen. I hope you comment. Certainly subscribe, like, share Share me with your kids, your grandkids. Say, hey, there's this crazy lady that's on TV or on YouTube, and she's showing you how to set up your life when you're young. I'm the mom that you can grab for anytime you want. The kids come into my kitchen because they know there's love, there's acceptance, there's helpful hints, and there's always good food here. And it's my hope that that's what you think too. I'm going to get this chicken plated up. We're going to say goodbye for today, and I'll see you tomorrow with another recipe. Now, when you pick this up, I'm going to do one with the fork so you can see. Let that oil drip. Let it drip. Now I'm going to do one with the fork. You can do the same thing with a fork. Just let it drip. Okay? Take it right off there. Doesn't that look delicious? Is your mouth watering? I hope it is. I hope that you'll find me. I hope that you'll enjoy these recipes. I hope that you'll come back and you'll comment. Tell me what you like. Tell me if you tried it. Show me pictures if you tried it and what yours turned out like. Give me your ideas of what you'd like to see in the future. And I'll see you next time in the kitchen with Kim Lesso.